It all began with a whisper, a tiny, trembling voice swallowed by the chaos of a crowded airport. A voice so soft that most people didn't hear it. But Michael Trent did. He wasn't supposed to. He was a man who kept to himself. A CEO known for being cold, distant, and impossible to approach. But on that late winter evening, as he sat alone in the VIP lounge with nothing but a black coffee and a colder heart, he heard it. "My daddy is in heaven. Can you help us get home?" The words froze him. He turned and saw a little boy, no older than 6, holding the hand of his younger sister, her cheek stained with dried tears. For a moment, Michael forgot to breathe. Michael had come to the airport that day to escape from his board, from his own mistakes, from the anniversary he hated more than anything, the day he lost his own family in a car accident. He told no one about it. He buried it beneath work, money, and silence. But the boy's words struck like lightning, ripping open wounds he had prayed would stay numb. He swallowed hard. "Where is your mother?" he asked. The boy shook his head. "She's talking to the man at the counter. They said our tickets aren't working anymore." The girl squeezed her brother's hand. "We just want to go home." Something inside Michael cracked. Against every instinct that told him to stay detached, he stood. "Stay here," he said gently. "I'll speak to them." But as he walked toward the counter, he felt the weight of memories he had spent years running from pressing down on his chest. At the counter, he found their mother, a exhausted woman with reddened eyes, arguing with a clerk who looked equally frustrated. "Ma'am, the airline changed the route," the clerk said. "Your new seats were given away. I'm sorry, but the next available flight is in 3 days. She shook her head weakly. "I don't have the money for a hotel. I don't have anyone here." Her voice cracked, and she braced herself against the counter. Michael stepped forward. "What's the issue?" The clerk's eyes widened when he recognized the CEO of one of the airport's largest investors. Suddenly, he became cooperative. Very cooperative. Michael listened, then said calmly, "Put her and her children on the next flight. First class. I don't care what needs rearranging." When the clerk hesitated, Michael leaned closer, voice sharp with authority. "Make it happen." And just like that, a miracle unfolded for the small, broken family. But the mother didn't smile, at least not yet. She approached him with confusion and gratitude tangled together. "Sir, why would you do that for strangers?" Michael looked at the 2 children behind her. "Because once, someone did something like that for me." The flight wasn't for another 2 hours, and storms delayed several departures, leaving the airport dim and restless. The children sat beside Michael, who tried his best to remain distant, but failed the moment the little girl climbed into the seat next to him and placed her tiny head on his arm as if she had known him forever. "You remind me of my daddy," she whispered. The words nearly shattered him. Their mother apologized, but he shook his head. "It's okay." And for the first time in years, it truly was. As the storm thundered outside, the children shared their story. Their father had been a firefighter, a hero. He died saving a family from a burning building. They were returning home after visiting their grandmother. "Mom's been sad," the boy said softly. "We try to be strong." Daddy said strong people help others. "Like you." Michael closed his eyes, overwhelmed. Their innocence softened something inside him that he believed was permanently broken. As time passed, the children grew comfortable with him, too comfortable. They wanted stories. They wanted to know why he was alone. And eventually, the boy looked him straight in the eyes and asked the one question Michael had been running from for 8 painful years. "Where's your family?" The room seemed to shrink. His heartbeat rang in his ears. He looked away, fists trembling. Their mother gently told the boy not to pry, but Michael finally spoke. "They're in heaven too," he whispered. Silence fell. The children leaned in closer, not out of pity but understanding. And in that moment, something remarkable happened. The little girl wrapped her small arms around him. "Maybe they met our daddy," she said. Tears he thought he would never shed again slipped down his face before he could stop them. When the final boarding call echoed through the lounge, the mother thanked him again and again, but as they walked toward the gate, the boy turned and ran back to him. "Come with us," he begged. "You shouldn't be alone." Michael knelt down. "I'll be okay," he lied. The boy took his hand, placed something small inside it, and whispered, "Daddy used to say heroes never walk away from people who need them." When Michael opened his hand, he found a tiny firefighter keychain, clearly old, clearly treasured. "You keep it," the boy said. "Daddy would want you to." Michael's throat tightened. "Thank you," was all he could manage, as they disappeared into the jet bridge. Michael felt a familiar emptiness creeping back in, but this time, it didn't stay long. The mother suddenly returned, breathless. "Wait." She handed him a crumpled card. "If you ever need a family to talk to, we're here." Michael stared at the card long after they boarded. For the first time in years, the idea of healing didn't feel impossible. He walked to the large glass window and watched their plane lift into the sky. And something lifted within him too, by the next morning. Michael Trent wasn't the same lonely CEO who had walked into the airport. He made a decision, one he should have made long ago. He called his board, canceled a week's worth of meetings, and booked a flight to visit the graves he hadn't touched in 8 years. When he finally stood there, under the quiet gray sky, he placed the tiny firefighter keychain beside the headstones. "I met some angels yesterday," he whispered. "They reminded me how to live again." His tears fell freely. but they no longer felt like wounds, they felt like release. And from that day on, the lonely CEO wasn't lonely anymore. He stayed in touch with the little family that changed his life in 60 unexpected seconds. They became the reason he laughed again, smiled again, lived again, because sometimes, the people who need saving aren't the ones who ask for help. Sometimes, they are the ones who kneel down to help a child and discover that the child helped them first.